let's start look at how you can use our AI over here to find the clarity on the career goals. So first, you go to our website, www.mimicue.ai. And then when you reach here, the very first thing, just for the compliance purposes, we'll need to inform you that we actually use cookies. Cookies is just a storage of a small bit of data in your browser, because when you open our pages, we need to make sure that we know who you are, and hence we actually drop some information into the cookies. But we are actually only using our own cookies. We don't have any tracking engine in our website. So rest assured that your data is safe with us. If you want to read more about our policies, you can open the link. It will bring you to our policy pages where you can look at the term of use, privacy policy, cookies policy, and our transparency AI notes. I would recommend you to go in and have a look of all our policies over here to understand how we run our operation. Okay, now if I go back to the main site, so I'm just running through this as a demo, assuming I'm the student. I'm looking at clarity on the career goal. I'm not sure what to do. And let's see how Mimicue.AI can help me. So I accept on the cookies. And when you land on the landing page, we just need you to key in your first name and email address first, because at this point in time, we are giving you free 2 minutes assessment. You don't have to sign up anything. This is not a sign up process yet. So if you do this, we have not recorded who you are, but we will have a record of your assessment. But this assessment, we are going to keep for only 30 days. If you decided to continue with us to eventually sign up to become a proper member, we are going to convert your assessment and move it into your account. But that is with your decision to sign up as a member. If you don't continue to sign up as a member, 30 days later, all these recommendations will be deleted. So we are not going to keep your profile after 30 days. Now, for starting, I'm just putting this as my name. And I'll just put mock email, because I'm just showing you example over here. Now, if you look at the assessment, if you watch the introduction video, I mentioned that our very first step is about understanding yourself, understanding your potential, understanding what you like, your interests. And there are a few ways that we can do this. We are looking at two tools. One is the Eastern way of personality assessment, which is the Astrology. And the second way is MBTI. So depending on your preferences or whichever that you trust, you can use Astrology or you can use MBTI. You don't have to use both, but if you sign up as a member, we'll guide you where you can upload your multiple data, and then we are going to use that to have a better or finer tuning recommendation for you. But for now, just a quick assessment. Let's choose one of them. And if you choose Astrology, we just need your date of birth and gender. Now, date of birth, based on whatever registered for you. So let's say I'm using example, let's say I'm born on the 1st of December, year 2000. Just for example, that's not by date of birth, but just for example, okay? Time of birth is optional. If you know, they will add about a little bit detail about your profile. But if you don't know your time of birth, you can skip it. Maybe I don't put my time of birth over here, just to show you how it works. And then I'm a male. Now, some of you may have questioned that what if I'm associated with the other gender. Okay. So while from the astrology point of view, we look at your natural birth gender. So we would recommend you to key in your natural birth gender. We are not looking at how we should associate or how we should call you, your pronoun, and so on. Okay. Because the two require the gender as you are born. That is how it works. Okay. Unfortunately, that is how it works. Or fortunately, right? It depends on your point of view. If you believe in this, you can fill in the information. If you don't believe it, or if you don't agree with how it used the pronouns or the gender, you can skip this and use the MBTI way. Is this proven or scientifically proven, or can it be trusted? Now, this technique is based on the Chinese ancient profiling technique. It was used more for forecasting, and it was used by the ancient kings when they are selecting the like minister or people to work in the royal court. So this is a secret technique, not available to many people because it was used by the king. But as the time passed on, so 1,000 years later, we get more informed about how to use the tool. More and more people start to get access to the older records. We started to interpret how it works. And if you look at it, basically, this is a big data analysis done 1,000 years ago in China. How they are able to come up with this formula? Basically, they look at the behavior of the public citizen. They associate that with their date of birth. And the theory behind it is that that may relate to the celestial body, how the planets move around us. So, for example, the Jupiter, Saturnus, Mars, our planet revolve or move along around the sun, along with all these planets. Now, if you learn science, right? So sometimes, for example, during the full moon, the moon may affect the tide. The sea level may go up because of the full moon, and that's pretty much because of gravity. Now, imagine that if a small planetary body like a moon can affect a water body on Earth, and our bodies are made of like I think 70 or 80% of water. What do you think will be the influence of the planets on Earth? And moreover, there are more planets out there, not just moon. If you look at the size of Jupiter, Saturnus, they are way bigger than moon. Will they have any impact on us? So that is what the Chinese astrology call as luck, which is basically the energy influence. So on a certain days, for example, when it is full moon, will we turn into werewolf? Just an example, right? How would we not know if there's a certain impact of those planets on us? We don't know because there's no one that has done any scientific research on this. But if the data is right, because all these data are collected from thousands of people across thousands of years, and it's been fine-tuned across generations. So this is basically big data from the ancient time, before we even have computer. And from that theory, we get to know, we get to somehow correlate indirectly between our date of birth to our character. Now, I don't want to go into the technicality, right? Because sometimes you don't need to know the tool, right? Because what we want to show you is that the result is more important. What is the data that it is going to show you? And how are you going to use the data? The application is more important than the theory. And you are the judge whether this is relevant to you. Right. So now, I want to share a little bit on the MBTI as well. If you don't believe the Eastern way, that's fine. We have also implemented the Western way using the MBTI. This psychometric assessment tool has been around for 70 plus years. It has been validated many times for its reliability. Right? It was created based on the psychological theory or practices or the research that has been done from many years ago. Right? So, and in fact, today, this MBTI assessment has been used in a lot of the human resource management, in a lot of big companies, in a lot of countries. So the adoptions is actually quite wide. A lot of people are aware of MBTI. A lot of people have been using it to understand their own profile. Now, we are not replacing MBTI. We just want to take MBTI data, what MBTI says about you, and then to understand how we can recommend career that are suitable to you. Now, if you look at the MBTI, we want to make this assessment very simple first. There are 16 MBTI types over here. If you have done your MBTI assessment, you will know your type. You just need to select your type. If you do the MBTI assessment, it will also give you some scoring. For example, if you are introvert, it will say the report will say that how many percentage of introvert you are versus your extroversion. Now, later on, when you sign up as a member, we will want your scoring as well to further fine-tune the recommendation. But for now, just to give you the sense of how this assessment works, we just want to keep it simple. We just need your MBTI type for now. But does it mean that everyone with the type ISTP will have the same recommendation? Yes. And that is what MBTI is showing, because for a certain type, maybe you are better to become, let's say, a doctor, an engineer. That is a very generic recommendation. Right now, in this free assessment, before you sign up as a member, we just want you to have a taste of it. We want to keep things simple. Just give us the type. We'll show you how our AI works. If you are convinced, if you want more fine-tuned recommendation, sign up as a member later, key in your score, and we will be able to generate a recommendation unique to you. A recommendation that will be different from another ISTP profile. Okay, so now it's up to you. Do you want to take astrology or MBTI? For me, I'll just go ahead with the astrology. Now, if you are a twin, there is a bit of differences in terms of how to read your date of birth. So depending on whether you are fraternal twin, you are the younger or the older, or you are the identical twin, or the younger or the older. Sorry, there's a typo over here. It should be the older. And then you just need to click again, read our terms of use, privacy policy, and the cookies policy. And then hit on generate. So in this step, we are going to scan through our database. We understand your profile now. We know your scoring. We know what are your potentials that you have. Now, when we are using astrology, we want to look at your potential. Potential means that something that you may or may not be able to acquire. You may not have it today, right? Just because you are born with the communication potential, that you may have potential to become influencer, doesn't mean that when you are 1 year old, you can become influencer. You need to acquire the skill. This is not the skill. This is just potential. If you look at MBTI, MBTI is your preferences. How you like to behave in a certain situation, how you like to interact with people, how you like to gather data, how do you like to make them. Those are shown using MBTI. And astrology and MBTI show different potential over here. But both of them eventually will be able to use to show what you like or what you don't like. Now, based on the traits, whether these are the things that you like or don't like, we can show you these are the people that are similar to you. These are the people out there, somewhere in the world. They have similar trait to you. Doesn't mean that they are born on the same day. Doesn't mean that they have exactly same MBTI type. There may be a certain permutation that we use in our AI to understand your trait better. But these are the person who are very closely similar to you. If you look at the profile over here, for example, oh, I'm similar as a student. I'm similar to Ben Affleck, and it is 96% match. But I'm not 96% match to Ben Affleck as individual in totality. I'm only 96% match to Ben Affleck as philanthropist. This profile that we have in our database, these successful people are mostly celebrity today. We are getting more and more profile into our database. And as celebrity or successful people, a lot of them has multiple roles. For example, Ben Affleck, he was more famous as an actor. He has done a lot of movies. He's more on the entertainment industry. But he also has another role that he has done, which is more on the philanthropy. So I'm similar to Ben Affleck as philanthropist, not as actor. You need to read the description so you understand better how you are similar to this person. Now, for Ben Affleck, these are the things that he has done. This is Ben Affleck's key achievement, what he has done. This is not your recommendation. We are only showing you that this person is similar to you. This is what they have done, and they are successful today. So you want to see more about this person. Let's say I want to be like Ben Affleck, for example. You can click on the button, wait for a while, and then our AI will actually describe how are you similar to Ben Affleck. So for example, in this profile, the similarity is I am visionary. Maybe I can leverage on my charisma. Again, this is potential. I may not have trained it, but this could be something that maybe I can acquire along the way. Strategic thinking, impact to social, intelligent, inventive mind, outgoing nature, persuasive communication skill, building network, and so on. So you can read the trait, how this person is similar to you. If you are still not sure how to become this person, our AI actually did some recommendation as well. Maybe these are some of the activity that you can do. Now, you don't have to follow exactly to be like this. Again, all these are AI generated content at this point in time. So we want you to use common sense as well. Is this something that you can do? Is this something that you like to do? It is okay to say that, no, I don't like this. That's fine. Even that awareness of something that you don't like is an insight. And again, human behavior is very complex. Just because you are similar to Ben Affleck doesn't mean that you like the same type of coffee that he's drinking. Right? It is more likely that you are similar to him than other people, but you are not 100% the same person. You are still a different people. You have your own preferences. I recommend look at the wordings, look at the description, right? Get a sense, understand the theme. What is it about this profile that you can do? And if you're interested to share this to your friend, now all these recommendation, while you have not created an account with us, we still keep your recommendation public. People cannot see this recommendation. They cannot see this information by default. You can enable this, and then you can copy the link, and you can share the link with your friends to your social media, to your WhatsApp, to your email, and so on. And this is what your friend is able to see. They will be able to see how you compare with Ben Affleck and only Ben Affleck because you're only sharing one successful profile. If you look at what you are seeing a lot more profile, but your friend is going to see only one that you share. Again, it's for privacy reason. And then you can explore. I would recommend you look at each of the profile. Look at all the job title that is summarized from all this profile. Give a thought. If any of them sounds interesting to you, if any of them makes you think like, hey, I didn't know I can do that. This looks interesting. Or maybe you feel that, hey, I didn't know that I can be similar to Ben Affleck. This is my idol. I like his movies. And maybe now you can become him. So we want you to understand, look at all these roles. I'm not asking you to become all 10 of them. It is not realistic. And a lot of people are asking me, is it accurate that I can become all these 10? Even though it's accurate, are you going to become these 10 different roles in this lifetime? How much time do we have? Can you become CEO and professor and researcher and TV personality at the same time? Maybe you can, but that will be a very, very rare. There will be like the top 1% in the population. But it's going to be a tough work, a lot of grind. Or will you be okay with just one? Just one role that you like and be that person? Will that be enough? Or maybe at least for now, be that one person. Once you can become like this person, let's say you become an environmental advocate. And 3 years later, 5 years later, you run a project, you rebuild a forest, for example. You clean the sea, right? You create a technology that can help with the sustainability, with the food production, with the fast fashion, and so on. Let's say 5 years later, you have achieved what you're looking for. And then now you're ready to move on to the next level. You can come back later. And maybe by then, some other profile will be more interesting to you. Maybe by then you want to become a novelist, to write about your own story, to write a book. Or maybe after that you want to build a foundation. You want to become a philanthropist. Or maybe after that you have a lot of the skill where you grow a certain industry, you become a CEO of the industry. So what we are showing you over here doesn't mean that you have to do all this together. You plan what is this roadmap that you want to do. And you can even like combine maybe certain trait of 2 or 3 people. What if you become a CEO that like to protect the environment and like to look at technology? You're a researcher as well. It is possible. So it is up to you. Read all this profile, understand the theme behind all this profile. What are the traits that you have? And look at how you can use this trait in a certain role. So the more important is the application, the how. Okay. So I'll leave it to you some time to look at it. So by default, we give you 7 recommendations. If you decided that this is interesting and you want to see more, what we have actually hidden some of the role. If you are interested to find out who they are, click the sign up button. And we also make the sign up to be very, very straightforward. When you click the sign up button, go through the sign up process, right? Maybe I can quickly show you. So when you click on the sign up, you can sign up using 3 accounts, whether you want to sign up using Google, Facebook ID, or Microsoft account. We use social identity. We don't keep a password over here. And that helps reducing the password that you need to remember. If you use your Google account, you just need to remember how to log into Google. And with that, you can log into our AI. Right, I will stop over here first, and I want you to explore all the recommendations shown to you before you decide to sign up. And I will show you more videos on how or what are the features that we have after you sign up.